Every magazine, every channel caters to you. You figure Friends is on for what, 9, 10 years? Predominantly white cast. That 70s show, predominantly white cast. How I Met Your Mother, predominantly white cast. And no one calls for equality when it's all white people. But when it's all a people of color, to a show with too many people of color, it's like, wait, don't all lives matter? Did they? Do they? Did they matter at all before? No, they didn't. Sorry, somebody's walking by. Yeah, so why is it on people of color to be all inclusive? What if I just want to celebrate my blackness and someone else wants to celebrate? I'm not offended by shows like Jane the Virgin. I love that show. You're allowed to celebrate your culture and do it without including me every now and then. But not when you're a white person who does it all the time. And then you complain about how you're not included. You literally exist everywhere. Like, my point is, if black people didn't have BT or other channels like that, where would we go? We don't have anywhere to turn to. But if you don't feel represented on BT, you have everywhere to turn. The world is literally your oyster. It is yours. You have that. Celebrate that. Fine. Go ahead. Whatever. And why are you mad? Why are you mad? You didn't celebrate us, so we're going and we're doing our own thing, and you're mad because you're not included. Why is it our job to include everybody? You didn't. You didn't care about equality when Friends was on for 10 years. Nobody cared. Nobody cared when Big Bang Theory portrays an Indian as a stereotypical nerd. Nobody cares about the racism in The Simpsons. Nobody cares. But God forbid you're not on Being Mary Jane. Whew. I say all that to say that Hollywood, again, needs to incorporate not just diversity in the sense of having more than one race, but also diversity in the depth of the characters, because black people can be so much more. Muslim people can be so much more. Desi people can be so much more. Latinos can be so much more than how we're represented on your channels. And yeah, I would love to see more characters of depth. I'm thankful for shows like Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder and Jane the Virgin and a lot of the shows on the CW who make race seem so effortlessly. They don't like, oh, you're a black girl, so you have to act like this. Iris West is kind of just an everyday girl. She's not super sassy black girl. She just is. And, you know, there's so many different races represented on that show, and effortlessly. There's people dating, interracial relationships. It just happens. And that's a good thing because that's how real life is. And I just wish that we would get that into our head. That it's okay to be different, and it's okay to celebrate the differences and portray them on screen, because representation matters. When little kids see themselves, not just racially, but if you see a black character, like for me personally, when I saw a black girl who was a little bit nerdy and not necessarily the cool black chick, who was a little bit nerdy and cared about her family and stuff like that, I identified with that because that's who I am. I don't necessarily identify with the over sassy, fighting, hard, tough knocks chick. So I would love to see more diversity in that sense as well. And Stacey, I'm sorry you feel that way. Maybe the root of your intentions were good. I feel like you just want us to accept each other and not be separated and just go, but you can only put up with so much being ignored. So we create our own spaces to celebrate ourselves. And that's that. Bye.